for the Albert Hall show, we got in an extra, I don't know, 14 extra strings, 6 extra choir.
Good maths.
I'm probably wrong. We did the tour as normal, and then one day with all these extra musicians before the day before.
But they were all,
and because they're all
proper musicians.
Yeah, so
they actually know what they're doing, so they can turn up and just.
And you just give them the sheet music, and there's some slight direction, and they're just bang on it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really impressive. And then at the Royal Albert Hall, there's a massive organ, and I asked if I could have a go, and they were like, yeah,
Some
sure.
idiot said yes.
Some idiot said yes. I mean, I'm the idiot. They're just a nice person. But they let me play it. Us trying to turn it on was pretty comical. It took 5 of us to not turn it on. We had to get the guy up on the phone and be like, how do you turn it on?
Had you played with an organ before?
On the Edinburgh date of this tour, they had an organ, and I asked if I could play it, and they said yes. So that was my first.
What do you start with as do you have to go, do you want to start with just, like chopsticks just to check it works, or do you go straight in?
Well, it's such a massive, powerful instrument that you can just pretty much play one chord and it sounds like...
It's so huge, it just fills the room.
Yeah.
It's
and you've got all these, there's a lot more pedals.
All notes on the
Are they all, they're the chords, are they? And then
so these are the bass notes, apparently, and they're the chords, and there's like 4 different keyboards that all do different sounds, and these sort of knobs you pull out that all do like various different noises and stuff. I had no idea what was going on. I'm like a basic pianist at best, so I just, like I said, I just played some simple stuff and it just sounded ridiculous, and then obviously there's an orchestra and a choir backing it up, so the whole thing was, for us, it was just kind of unbelievable to get to sort of see our songs like performed in that way and be part of it ourselves. It was really cool.
The new single, Quarter Past Midnight, out soon. It's a very upbeat song. Are we expecting quite a different sound from this?
Good question. I'm just going to say while I think about an answer. We wanted to make something with this record, the whole album, that felt really concise, and it's set over a short period of time. It's a nighttime record. And it's I think all the songs are quite different, but it's very much sort of in the same mood. There's a slightly sort of throwback feel to the whole thing. We wanted it just to feel euphoric. This song is about that moment of the night, the moment in a night out where some people are going to head home and you're like, no, this night's not finished. It's not even begun yet. And it's sort of it wouldn't be a Bastille song if it wasn't also, racked with self-doubt and self-hatred, but it's kind of like trying to capture and bottle that euphoria and that feeling of like, you're with your mates or with whoever and you're like charging into the night, like careering through town, like in the back of a Uber or whatever, or on a bus, like really excited, and it's just trying to capture that and the messiness of it and like the visuals of the city at night and what that's like. And it's kind of like the first chapter of our new album.
So how did Bright come about? Was it you, or did they approach you, or did they?
Yeah, we have a friend who we've known for years who works at the record label that were putting out the soundtrack, and she said that our name had come up in a meeting, and they sent over a couple of scenes to write to, and we had the beginnings of an idea for this song. Which was basically World Gone Mad, and I don't know, we're lucky enough to have opportunities like that kind of pop up every now and then, and often you'll sort of send an idea over and I'm sure they're reaching out to loads of bands, but with this, we basically went into the studio, did the demo. It was the first thing we recorded in our new studio, did the demo, sent it over, and like within half an hour, the head of the label sort of called directly and was like, I love this song, can we have it, can we use it?
Wow.
And within 3 days, he paid for us to record like a massive string section on the song and finish the track. And, things like that kind of rarely happen in that world at that speed. And it's just a song that we're really proud of. It felt like it kind of capped off our last album campaign with something suitably depressing and nihilistic. I don't think it's a song that we ever would have been able to release sort of properly otherwise. So it was awesome. And we got to make a video with Will Smith in it, and an exploding shop and an upturned car, and it had a horse in it. All these things, I guess. We just feel very lucky to.
So you worked with the director. He was directing you.
Well, there were 2 other directors who did the video, but then the director turned up on the day, and was like, right, I'm going to step in for 4 hours and direct you now. And he's this sort of big Hollywood director who's done a lot of massive films. And I am the most uncoordinated, lanky idiot that I've ever met. And they were like, right, you're angry, like you've just been arrested, but your car's exploded and turned over and you've like broken out and you're like charging down the street in this dystopian future, like that's your motivation. And I was like, what? Yeah, and it was just so embarrassing. Like when there was 3 chances to do this explosion, and they'd shot off this whole street in downtown LA. There were like all these extras everywhere, all these people in like orc makeup and stuff, and a kind of like basically a film crew, like the likes of which I've never really got to be involved in. And there was like, right, we've got 3 chances to do this explosion. This Hollywood guy was like, you know, telling me what to do, and I was like, look, mate, I'm not an actor. Like I don't know what I'm doing. Just any tips? And so we were like, he's like, all right, we'll run through it. So he's like, bang, react. And I was like, knows, I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, we tried it a few times, and then it came to the first explosion, and it happened, and it was, like, you know, bearing in mind there was this big explosion, like mess everywhere. There were like stunt guys who were having to like throw themselves into the road, and yeah, this explosion happens, and I must have reacted so badly, looked back, and then just found myself staring straight down the barrel of the camera. It was like, and all this like the very sort of lovely LA, everything's amazing crew kind of, they were like, oh, it was brilliant, it was perfect, it was so good. Just don't do exactly what you did again, please.
Don't do any of that.
It was so mortifying.
It's all about the music. Virgin Radio.